Hey everyone, and welcome again to Learning with Meryl. Today we're diving into one of the Earth's most fascinating and important cycles. So that is the carbon cycle. So carbon cycle is a complex system that affects everything from the air we breathe to the climate we experience. So what exactly is a carbon cycle? So, simply put it, like it's a continuous movement of carbon atoms between different reservoirs on Earth. So, think of it as a giant global recycling system. So, these reservoirs includes the atmosphere, the oceans, the land that includes the soil and vegetation, and even the fossil fuels deep underground. So carbon is a constantly moving particles between these reservoirs through the process of the carbon cycle. So I have here a representation or a visual diagram of the carbon cycle. So I'm gonna put it on the upper top portion, or I'm gonna flash it later so that you can see it clearly. So let's start with the top of the sun. The top of the sun provides the light as energy, or the light energy that the plants use in the process called photosynthesis. So as you can see here, that in the diagram, the plants take in the sunlight from the sun, and the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere are absorbed and converted into sugars. So the one that converted those are molecules or particles is the plants. So it happens in the process called photosynthesis. Now, this process is called light converted into carbon dioxide by photosynthesis. The plants use the sugars for energy and growth. So, the sugars there, then the byproduct of the photosynthesis, for little knowledge, is called the glucose. Okay, the glucose and the oxygen. That is a byproduct of photosynthesis. Now, next in the illustration, you get to show here the carbon fixation. Carbon fixation from the atmosphere to the plants. So, animals eat the plants, and then they obtain the carbon, and then animals breathe the oxygen, that is the byproduct of the photosynthesis, and animals respire, or they give off carbon dioxide cycle. So, it's like a cycle. The animals breathe the oxygen, and then they give off the carbon cycle back to the plants. Now, so the illustration here, we also have the plant respiration. The plant respiration here means that the plants also release carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. So when plants and animals die, here, we have here the life, decay, and death. When plants and animals die, their remains decompose. So as you can see in the illustration, there's life, death, decay here. These are labeled because when the animals or the plant dies, they decay. And then, there's what we call the decomposers or the decomposers, like bacteria, fungi. So they break down the dead organic matter, releasing carbon back into the soil and atmosphere. So over millions of years, some of this organic matter will be converted into fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas. And then, that is why here in the life, death, decay, and decomposers, there's an arrow going down. There's an arrow going down, and then it states that fossils and fossil fuels, because throughout the years or over millions of years, these organic matters here will be converted into the natural gas, fossil fuels, coal, and oil. And then we have here. So, from the fossil fuels, the root respiration. So, root respires carbon dioxide, which is absorbed in the soil. Now, here, when these organic matter turns into fossil fuels, these fossil fuels are again used into factories. So here, the fossil fuels are burned, and this adds up to the carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. So what that is the process that we call combustion. And now, so carbon dioxide cycle, or carbon cycle rather, doesn't just take place in the Earth's surface. It also takes place in the ocean. Ocean absorbs and releases carbon into the atmosphere. Actually, actually a process that, like the phytoplankton use CO2 for photosynthesis in the ocean, that converts organic matter that moves up to the food chain inside the ocean. So that's how the move through the carbon dioxide, the carbon cycle in the ocean. Now, humans impact the carbon cycle. So, as you can see here, the combustion, the combustion, it shows that the burning of fossil fuels really adds up to the CO2. So, when they release back into the atmosphere, it is released in the large amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, and thus that takes so long to fixate by the plants. Human activities, especially the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation, have significantly increased the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So this has led to an enhanced greenhouse effect, trapping more heat, causing global warming and climate change. So what can we do to help balance the carbon cycles? So actually, there are many potential solutions, to balance the carbon cycle. We can reduce our reliance on fossil fuels by switching to renewable energy resources like solar and wind power energy, and we can also protect and restore forests, such as planting trees, reforestation. But through this, we can help act against the carbon sinks. And we can also adapt to more sustainable agricultural practices that to help reduce carbon emissions from farming. The carbon cycle is a complex and interconnected system that is vital to the health of our planet. By understanding how it works and the impact of the human activities, we can take action to mitigate climate change to ensure a sustainable and livable future. So, thank you for watching, and remember to do your part to protect our planet. Carbon cycle is a very complex and fascinating process that happens every day in our Earth. Not just in our Earth's surface, but also in our oceans. For us to live and to be able to live harmoniously and to restore the balance of our ecosystem, it is one of the greatest thing that a human can do to help balance or to help mitigate these pollutions, and then to be a part of the sustainable development programs that helps combat these imbalances of our ecosystem. That's it, everyone, and thank you.